think that it shouldn't be supported is because they don't treat their animals the way they should be treated, and they just make them do unnatural stuff, and it's sorry, like this, it just shouldn't be supported. So to start from like my main point, well, I already said what SeaWorld was, so I'm gonna be talking about the captivity of Tilikum, and he was one of the most infamous orcas at SeaWorld, and he was captivated captured, sorry, at the age of 2, and they found him near Iceland, like more toward the east, and he'd been in captivity for about 30 years. So about like what they would do, they would keep him in steel containers with like 3 other orcas at one point, and the cages were only about like 20 to 30 feet wide. So if you like take 3 orcas and put that into like comparison, like that's not a lot of room compared to where they're supposed to actually be. And they would be as deep as like 2 orcas, like the length of 2 orcas together. That's how deep the enclosures are. So like they would spend a lot of time in there, and like they were deprived of food, especially if they weren't doing the stuff that the trainers wanted them to do. And Tilikum wasn't trained like the other ones, so the trained orcas got hostile, and they would like hurt him and bite him and leave like teeth marks. So him being attacked by other whales, of course, it led to him being more violent. And there was a quote from a marine biologist. He had been studying killer whales for about 4 decades. It was Ken Balcom, and he stated that locking Tilikum up in the box that he was in, like the little isolation he was in for 14 hours a day, made him go into a psychosis, which kind of caused the aggressiveness that I'm going to get into. But in my next slide, like I'll show you like the enclosures and stuff. Like you can just see how like that's nothing compared to like where they're supposed, like the ocean. So obviously anyone who would be, I mean, if you think about it, if you like put yourself in your room and like you're just locked up in your room all day, like just walking around like for hours and hours, that's kind of like basically what it is. Cause it's like it's just inhumane to keep them in tiny cages like that compared to like where they're supposed to be, and like depriving them of food and stuff is just not right. So all this and leading up to like how it can affect their moods and stuff and make them aggressive, that leads to like my point where like the aggression and how like the portrayal of orcas is more aggressive now because of all the stuff that's happened. So if, for example, the death of the trainer Dawn Brancho, I think her last name is, I can't really pronounce it, but when he Tilikum dragged her to the bottom of the tank and drowned her, and after that whole incident, like they stopped like allowing trainers and stuff to be in the water. But obviously him being abused in that way led up to his, like that's just not a normal thing, and that wouldn't have happened if he wasn't in captivity. But so that whole situation again, they wouldn't allow trainers after that into the tanks. So regardless if he was kept in conditions like that, like if whales are kept in conditions like this, like as the pictures, like regardless if they don't die, they're going to become violent, especially after years and years of them just swimming around. So the damage that SeaWorld causes, there's like a lot of stuff that's happened to animals and stuff, and like even like sicknesses, and a lot of orcas have died under their care. So like in SeaWorld, like the orcas usually don't live a full-term life, and usually they live like I think like 50 years, just about like over a little over 50 years they could live to be that old in the wild. But like in SeaWorld, I think they live to only be around like half that, if even that, probably like 20, like 14 years maybe to 20 years. And if you like, obviously this picture just shows you all the orcas that have died underneath SeaWorld's watch, and that's a lot considering they've only been open for about like 60 years, a little over 60 years, and 41, that's a lot. So obviously when they're there, they can't live normal lives, and they won't usually live out to their full lifespan. So the need for like, so what I think needs to happen is that SeaWorld should be defunded for these specific reasons, because it's in I don't it's an like they make the park is like, it just makes marine life do unnatural things, and they have them living in horrible conditions, and it's just not right for them to like force these animals to do stuff that they wouldn't naturally do in their natural habitats, and like don't like not giving them food, or like putting them on punishment for certain things that they don't do right. And I just don't think so. My first reason in like regards to why there's a need for change is because it's not safe regardless for humans or animals. And like the conditions that they're being kept in can make them become more aggressive, which can lead to more like problems with humans and like accidents. And it can obviously lead to the death of them because it's just not good for them. And another reason is like SeaWorld is like, honestly, like it's like made for like entertainment purposes, and they don't educate properly. If you look at like the trainers, like half of them, if not most of them, they don't have like basic marine biology like education. So that can lead to more like mishaps and animal cruelty as well. And just in general, they're in distress, and they live lives that aren't enjoyable just for the pure and like just for the entertainment of humans. And I don't think that's right. And there's a lot of stuff that like obviously a lot of stuff hasn't been accomplished yet, but there is a lot of stuff that you can do to help as much as you can when it comes to like this specific subject. So some step or like some things that I know that you can do, like you can tell your friends and families about it, obviously, or you can like you can tell them not to visit places like that, or don't like supporting marine mammal parks, or like just SeaWorld in general, and like places that have aquariums and stuff. um you can call your congressman and like elected officials and stuff like that and tell them not to do it, or not to support stuff like that as well. But you can also take pledges and just don't like go in general, kind like just don't buy tickets or anything, and just share like messages with your colleagues and family and friends. You can also visit organizations that help support marine mammals around the globe. And to be more specific, there's like this one, I mean, on this slide, on that side, it's just like little statistics and stuff. But on this side, on the right side, it's like, those are just like documentaries that you can watch, resource documentaries. But there's also like physical actions you can take, like there's this one site, and it's like it's the Orca Project. And I think there's a lot of stuff that you could do, like when it comes to pledging and like donations to like corporations that can actually like make the change get into action. And like you can search up stuff obviously too as well and get more educated. But PETA also has a SeaWorld Sucks campaign, and that also has a lot of stuff like on that site and stuff. It also shows you like a lot of stuff that you could do to take action. So of course, so basically just signing pledges, or you can call SeaWorld yourself as well if you want to, and you can like just educate more people on the topic, like I said. But like there's a lot of stuff, there's like a long way to go, obviously, because SeaWorld's still open, and like they're still like captivating orcas and stuff, because I know it's like banned in like certain countries, but obviously it's not banned here. And like just like every little thing, like even if it's just like telling people or educating other people, it can help, like because every little thing counts. So yeah, so without change, like orcas and other marine life in general just will continuously live at risk of harm and discomfort, and even possibly death. So I think that really needs to be a subject that I think people should take seriously, because it's just not fair and it's not right. And I think like, again, like every little thing counts. So